Hello YouTube, CivilianSnowman here, and today I'm going to review 127 Hours, the new film directed by Danny Boyle and starring James Franco. Now the plot follows wannabe adventurer and self-proclaimed superhero Aaron Ralston, played by James Franco, who is almost trekking across the kind of desert in America and actually falls and gets his hand trapped under a rock and is there for 127 hours. Now this is actually based on a true story. I can remember this being on the news when it happened back in 2003, and basically what he had to do after being trapped there for several days was cut his own arm off with a knife to get out. Now that isn't a spoiler because, as I said, it's actually based on a true story, so you know you can't really spoil real life, but that's the basic plot of the movie. Now, when this film was first announced and I heard about it, obviously, like I said, I remembered this happening in real life. I remember it being on the news. I always thought like it would make an interesting film, and I expected it to be the kind of movie where it is just that one location, literally like 90 minutes of a guy with his arm stuck under a rock. And then when they announced that Danny Boyle was going to direct the movie, I always thought like that, his style doesn't really apply itself to that kind of movie. I was kind of a bit close-minded about it because Danny Boyle really does the exact opposite of what you'd expect from a film like this, and makes the movie all the better for it. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the direction. Danny Boyle's direction, he's become known for his kind of kinetic and energetic style and how he likes to whip the camera around and make shots that you've never really seen before, and he does exactly the same here. Now, while Aaron is trapped under this rock, Danny Boyle's got the camera going everywhere that he can, basically not wanting to lose any momentum from his style. Now, some of the shots in this are truly fantastic. He puts the camera inside Aaron's water bottle so that we see the levels depleting. He puts the camera inside the tube straw thing that he sucks water through. Just things like that that I really enjoyed and thought was very interesting to see, because it's not many there aren't many directors out there who would attempt a film like this in that type of style. They wouldn't approach a film like this with such energy, because you would expect it to be a bit of a slow burner, but like I said, Danny Boyle doesn't do that. What I did really like about this film was well, as I said, it's a true story, so you know how it's going to end and you know what's going to happen, but the anticipation that Danny Boyle builds and the tension is truly fantastic, and I was actually taken by surprise when the character fell and got trapped under the rock, because I didn't expect it to happen when it did, and I think that's quite an achievement on Danny Boyle's part, because we basically spend the first kind of 15-20 minutes getting to know Aaron, and he bumps into a couple of girls in the middle of the desert and shows them around and they go swimming and stuff, and that's all really, shot really well. It's very interesting stuff, and then just as he's kind of leaving them and you think they can't really be more than half a mile away from him, suddenly he falls and he's trapped, and it really took me by surprise. I didn't expect it to happen so soon after he is kind of left on his own. So like I do think that Danny Boyle managed to kind of take the audience by surprise in that respect, and really succeeds, because that's how it will have felt to Aaron Ralston. It will have been just a shock. So the fact that it shocked me when it happens is a testament to Danny Boyle's direction. Now, people have said that during this movie, they felt sick, or people have fainted and things like that, and I have to say it has gory moments, but a lot of the kind of, I don't want to call it violence, but a lot of that kind of injury takes place off camera, and what really makes you feel ill and uncomfortable is the sound design. The sound design in this is absolutely amazing, like just brushing against the rock with his hand, everything. It's so crisp, the sound, that you feel like you're just stood there with him. It's not often that sound design in a movie is so important, but in this movie it really is, especially in the pivotal scene where he has to finally take his kind of rusty blunt knife and cut his arm off. The sound design in that is absolutely amazing and really does make you squirm in your seat. Another aspect of the sound design that was really good was the soundtrack. It has a great soundtrack. Now, I don't want to spoil which songs pop up in it, but the songs that Danny Boyle chooses, and this tends to happen in all of his movies, perfectly fit the film. I like to think he uses music in the same way as somebody like Quentin Tarantino or Wes Anderson. The songs really add and build on the scene. So I thought the musical choices in the movie were second to none, really. Another aspect of Danny Boyle's direction, which is just absolutely fantastic, is how he manages to make the mundane kind of almost fantastic. An example of which, and I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want to spoil little moments of the film, but a perfect example of what I'm talking about is when the sunlight shines on Aaron for 15 minutes every morning, and he gets so cold during the night because obviously the temperature plummets in the desert at night. He gets so cold that once, you know, the sunlight just lights one of his legs, you know, it's so relieving for you. You know, you as the audience member feel the warmth from that sunlight, the way it's shot, the way it's overexposed when the sun shines. It manages to just make that one little thing so important to the character, which is, you know, the way he sticks his leg out to get it in the sunlight to get warm. It really is fantastically done. Now, the film obviously hinges on James Franco's performance as Aaron Ralston. Now, James Franco is an actor I've always enjoyed watching, and this is, without a doubt, the best performance I've seen him give as of yet. He manages to be the kind of cocky, cocksure, like I said, self-proclaimed superhero at the beginning of the film, but once he's, you know, trapped and, you know, it's basically left for him to carry the movie. He really does well. He manages to bring such vulnerability and emotion to the screen, especially when he's recording video messages for his parents, and just when he's trying to tell himself not to lose it, or he actually holds an entire conversation with himself around 3 different aspects of his personality. It's just so well done. James Franco's performance is just absolutely electric. It really is. He really manages to pull you in and make you care about the character, because it could have been quite easy to not give a shit about the character because he is the kind of cocky guy who you could argue almost deserves what happens to him and blah blah blah, but I don't feel that way because James Franco really brings a human edge to the character, and most of all brings the human aspect to the movie. So all in all, I think that 127 Hours is a brilliant film. It really is. It's a feel-good movie with balls is what I referred to it as on Facebook. People, you know, seem to think that it's kind of a downbeat film about a bloke cutting his arm off, but that's not it at all. It really is a feel-good movie. It puts you through hell, and when he escapes at the end, I could have cried. I had to hold back tears. I'm not going to lie to you. I really did have to hold back tears. It was just such an uplifting ending. And also the circumstances under which I saw this film were quite perfect. I'd actually been at the gym all morning, lifting weights and boxing and things like that. So by the time I got to the cinema to see this film, I was exhausted. And it was the right way to see the movie, because I felt like I was right there with him. And as I said at the end, when he gets out, it's so uplifting and so perfect that it really is, like I said, a testament to Danny Boyle's direction. It cements him as one of the best directors working today. So all in all, I'm going to give 127 Hours 5 stars. As an experience, it deserves 5 because it really does put you through the paces in the same way the character does. I thoroughly enjoyed it and thoroughly recommend it to anybody. I honestly think you should go and see this and support Danny Boyle, who is kind of one of Britain's leading directors at the moment. It's a fantastic film. James Franco's performance deserves an Oscar nomination, in my opinion. He has to command the screen for 90 minutes, and he does really well. He is fantastic in it. So like I said, 5 stars from me. I thoroughly recommend it. I hope you've all enjoyed this review. Thanks to everybody who rates, comments, watches and subscribes. This is CivilianSnowman signing out. I'll see you later. Bye.